Morning. So if everybody can sort of come on in, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Reading. Hello out there. So everybody online is watching. So what we're going to do is start with our opening song by Dalton. Welcome, Dalton.
Good morning. Could I get everybody in here, please, to clap your hands? Thank you for the applause. Could I get everybody to clap your hands like this? Just a slow clap, right? Keep going now.
So welcome, Dalton. Again, here we go.
That's it. 'Cause this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, you know I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Gonna take this light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Gonna take this light around the world. Gonna let it shine. Take this light around the world. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. That's it now. Come on. Won't let anyone blow it out. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. No, I won't let anyone blow it out. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I won't let anyone blow it out. 'Cause I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine. No, I'm gonna let it shine now. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, you know I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. One more now. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Morning, everybody.
Well, thank you, Dalton. That was a great start. So there is a lot of light in here, and so we welcome everybody. And so as we bring the children up, we're going to all stand up and wave to the camera out there in YouTube land and Facebook Live. And we invite everyone out there to start coming into the center. So that was for all the children of this center and all the children of the world. So we pray and hold them in our heart. Thank you. So I'd like to welcome anybody new today who would like an information packet. If you want to raise your hand. And if you're shy, or if you know somebody that would like an information packet, you can pick one up in the back on the way out. So I'd like to thank everybody who arrived early for service. We have Lindy in the sound booth, and we have Marty on the board desk, and we have volunteers out in the lobby, and we'll be announcing what's going on out there because we saw everybody out there before they came in, and so pretty exciting. So with that, I'm going to go through. That's my lead into some announcements. So today we have the art sale, and you can see that in the lobby there. There's beautiful art donated to the center. We have more prints from Charles Patrick Smith, his original art pieces. And we also have art that was donated to the center for part of our fundraising campaign. So take a look out there. There's lots of beautiful work. And do you know how long this goes on for? The end of the month. To the end of the month. Today we also have the congregational meeting, and I know that we've received a lot of absentee ballots, so we know there's going to be a strong vote. But if you want to stay, even if you're not a member, and stay for the annual meeting afterwards, that'll be at 11:30 here in the sanctuary. There'll be an update on the center, and also the vote for new board members. So very important meeting, lots of fun updates, and probably lasts about an hour. We have the Tao of Watercolor, Painting Flowers with Freedom, Expression, and Style with Sherry-Ann Wyndham, and I think you'll see some of her art out there in the foyer too. So that's going to be starting March 14th, 9:30 a.m. to noon. We have the men's group with Roy Wolfstad, Monday, March 14th, 7 to 9 p.m. And you can see Roy. Roy's here today if you want to ask him any questions. And Sacred Sisters, also tomorrow night with Reverend Sue MillerBorn. And they're going to explore places to go when things are uncertain or too much. And then we have with Dr. Mary, Exploring Membership meeting. It's going to be Sunday, March 20th from 11:15 to 12:15. And so that's where if you're interested in becoming a member, you can get information about the center and what our teaching is and what it's like to be part of this incredible community here. And last, we have a new certified course being taught by Reverend Sue. It's called Journey of the Soul. And it's going to be starting March 24th, 6:30 to 8:30. It's going to be a combination of in-person and by Zoom. And we kind of worked out the way of doing that thanks to Steve's help. We figured out a way to have it so everybody can see everybody and hear everybody. It's kind of fun, actually. So you can check that out and talk to Sue as well. So with that, I'm going to invite Craig up to do our reading, followed by the invitation of the bell for 3 times with a little bit of silence, and then I'll do our prayer for today.
Reverend Sue asked me to share a poem I wrote called Irish for a Day. And so I'm dressed like a little leprechaun, as you can see. Irish for a Day. Stories of the rainbow's end coax us into this land, this cloak of emerald where stones grow into cottage, into fence, where moss and vine flourish. There is no defense against wishes that beguile us, and with harp, fiddle, and song we come along to this magical, mystical isle. And in the landscape's greenery, we imagine that we are all a Denny boy or a freckled Colleen, and are all a part of St. Patrick's flock. And now in the words of Earnest Holmes, We heal people, we heal thoughts and not people. The spiritual person is never sick. Spiritual healing consists of changing psychological thought patterns. It's important that we look directly at the causes of our stress so that we can make changes in our thinking and thus in the ways in which we live our lives that will allow us to reveal our wholeness. It does very little to affirm wholeness while we continue to overwork ourselves and worry ourselves sick. This may require the services of a practitioner, a trained beloved who will pray with you and deeply support you through changing key aspects of your life. Real change supports real healing. I do not think that we should make such a claim to divinity that we forget that we are fully human. For our humanity proclaims the creativity of the divine. Human we are, doing the best that we can, ever seeking a fuller realization of our source. Our experience is filled with laughter, tears, singing, dancing, praying, and exalting, and sometimes falling into the depths of despair. We need to have a good-natured flexibility toward all that we encounter, not fighting against life, but cooperating with life. What great joy should accompany everything that we do, an expectancy, love everything, praise everything, recognize all things, believe all things, accept all things. There is a laughter of God, so let's laugh it. There is a song of the universe. Let us sing it. There is a hymn of praise. Let us praise it. There is a joy and a beauty. There is a deep, abiding peace. Let's experience that.
Please join with me in knowing that there is one love, one divine presence, always available, always present for each and every one of us. And I know that it flows through each of us individually in its own unique and beautiful form with all the attributes of God. And so I claim this knowing for each and every one of us right here and right now. And so as we allow ourselves to sink in and allow from the depths of our soul to recognize the God Spirit, the divine Spirit, and the divine urge to know and to grow and to be all that we can be, all that we can be in the light of the one. So despite the turmoil and the unrest, we allow ourselves to go deeper and recognize the beauty of this divine source. And we allow that source to spread from within and outward so that it reaches others beyond just ourselves and this community, but to the world. And so we hold as a container this source, this light, this love, for healing and for growth. And today I open myself up and allow the inspired words of Reverend Sue to penetrate and to go deep within my soul and see what's there for me. As we graciously accept her wisdom and her work in this center. So we give thanks for community, for today, and knowing that we are all here together, working together for a world that works for all. I give thanks for today and the music and everyone participating. And I release these words and this prayer into law, knowing full well it is so, and together we say, and so it is. Reverend Sue.
Thank you, Judy, Charlie. Good morning. I wanted to, before I launch into your lecture for the day, I wanted to point out a gift I got last week from Doug Hoiber and Ronnie. Doug carved this wooden lotus. So if you get a chance to come up, I put it up here because I don't want you guys to think you can buy it. It's priceless. It's priceless. It's my heart. Anyway, it's very charming, and what a sweet gift. And so, Doug and Ronnie, I just thank you so much for such a joy. Charlie and I are carrying it around like, don't bump me. Don't want anything to happen to it, but I'm sure it's pretty sturdy. And also, some of the unique pieces were donated on this side of the table when you walk in, right outside the door. And they came in 3 white boxes from someone who I don't know. And we got these artifacts last fall. So I don't know how to price them, but so you can look at those. You'll recognize what I'm talking about because they're very old pieces from Japan. So they're kind of museum pieces. So you can negotiate on some of those. Just come see me. Is this one of those? Yes. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. I'm excited about that art. We already purchased a bunch, and I have a whole bunch more. I know we'll make our goal just through Charlie and I shopping. So the title for the talk today is A Spoonful of Humor is the Medicine. And I know we can certainly use some humor with all that's been going on in the last few years, and certainly currently what's going on in our world, just to balance ourselves. You know, the humor helps to bring ourselves back into wholeness, into a sense of God's got this, and we can allow ourselves to smile again. So I start with a story for you. It's about monks. A man's car broke down as he was driving past a beautiful old monastery. He walked up the drive and knocked on the front door. And of course, a monk answered, listened to the man's story, and graciously invited him to spend the night. The monks fed the man and led him into a tiny chamber in which to sleep. The man thanked the monks and slept serenely until he was awakened by the most strange, beautiful sound. The next morning, as the monks were repairing his car, he asked about that sound that had awakened him. "Oh, we're sorry," the monk said. "We can't tell you about that sound. You're not a monk." The man was so disappointed, but eager to be gone, so he thanked the monks for their kindness and went on his way. And during a quiet moment afterwards, the man continued to ponder the source of that alluring sound. Several years later, the man happened to be driving in that same area, so he stopped at the monastery on a whim and asked for admittance. He explained to the monks that he had so enjoyed his previous stay, he wondered if he might be permitted to spend another night under that peaceful roof. They agreed, so the man stayed with them again. Late that night, he again heard that strangely beautiful, unearthly sound. The following morning, he begged the monks, "Please explain that sound." They gave him the same answer. "We're sorry, we can't tell you about that sound. You're not a monk." So by now, the man's curiosity had turned to obsession. He decided to give up everything and become a monk, for that was the only way he could learn about this sound. He informed the monks of his decision and began the long, arduous task of becoming a monk. 7 years. 7 years later, the man was finally established as a true member of the order. When the celebration ended, he humbly went to the leader of the order, asked to be told, what is the source of that wonderful, wonderful sound? Silently, the old monk led the new monk to a huge wooden door. He opened the door with the golden key. The door swung open to reveal a second door of silver, then a third door of gold, so on and so on. They passed through 12 doors, each more magnificent than the last. The new monk's face was awash with tears of joy as he finally beheld the wondrous source of the beautiful, mysterious sound he had heard for so many years before. But I can't tell you what it was. You're not monks. Did it get you? Yeah, so I'm going to have a little game here that we're going to do. I'm going to have kind of this section over here. When you think something's funny, if you think anything's funny that I say, be careful when you interject this. I want you to say the sound ho, 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 ho. Okay? Let me hear it. Ho, 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 ho. Okay, this middle range, and you can decide who you are. Ha, 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 ha. And over here, hee, 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 hee. Okay, you got your parts? Because this is interactive, all right? Not everything's funny, but if you see something, yeah, you just blew it, didn't you? Some of you didn't do a hee, hee, ho, ho, ha, ha. So watch it. You got a big part here. So the theme we're doing is play this month, remembering that is sacred activity. And in play, we find that there is an avenue of healing to our body, mind, and most importantly to our heart, connecting us to one another through joy. And we've been created by the divine. This innate joy lives and breathes and has its longing inside of us to be expressed and felt. But in laughter, it is a time where it overflows and spills into others. And who doesn't enjoy laughing with a baby, right? Doesn't it just, you could be in a kind of a somber mood, but when a baby smiles at you in the grocery line, your whole heart smiles back. You cannot help but be fed by that purity of expression. And also, that's a moment when we become fully present in that brief split second of that smile. That tender joy inside of us just comes forth. We are touched deeply. Sometimes it stays and we tell somebody else about it, or we just go on with our day very amused in our heart space. Now, Earnest Holmes it reinforces the laughter of a child is as important to the universe as the creation of planets. That's a huge statement, isn't it? But I think it's because he's saying something so bold and powerful, because that is the gift of this joy. So I sometimes wonder, when did we become not so cute? Why isn't everybody just laughing with us all the time? We've become so serious as we get older. So I know sometimes in me, I'm overwhelmed in life, and sometimes when in grief, there can come spilling through me an unintentional sudden laughter, very inappropriate, very awkward. I got to tell you, sometimes I bite the insides of my cheeks to suppress the laughter from coming, because I don't want to full out laugh in someone's face when they're sharing their heart with me. It's so awkward. So this happened to me just this week, and was sharing this precious time heart to heart with someone that came in, and she was telling her story, and I found myself reflecting back to her what I was hearing. But all of a sudden, I could feel it coming, and so I started biting my cheek and moving my mouth around so it wasn't too obvious, because I didn't know her. She didn't really know me that well. So I was like, And then pretty soon I realized I was probably looking like a shrunken apple doll to her, because I was like, go ahead, tell me more. Trying not to do that laugh. And then I finally said, I am so sorry, but I said, I just need to laugh here just a minute. Let me just get it out. And then she kind of looked at me funny, and then she started laughing, and she goes, well, I want to be funny again. I want to be funny. I said, well, you are funny the way you're describing things. And I said, just have such a visual mind. And I said, so let me just take a deep breath here, and we'll get back on track. But pretty soon, it was just this matter of she would share, we would laugh. And I thought, what a difference that time was with one another. It wasn't heavy. I mean, it was deep stuff that we were sharing with each other, but it was this, I could see it tangibly bringing us back from deep sadness to wholeness. That laughter helped alleviate the pressure of our soul. Do you know what I mean? Has that ever happened to you? Can you all please nod? I know. Huh? So I was witnessing, though, what I recognized in that, I was witnessing her true self. I was witnessing what she was so carefully trying to describe, where she wanted to be. And I was smiling because she was that. She was that. So if this is not always this thing I have, it's not always so easily excused by others. I've gotten in a lot of trouble by my mother and my father. We used to, at the dinner table, there was 4 girls. That could get kind of crazy, and my dad would go, silence, and thump us on the back of the ear, and I'd start laughing. That's not helpful. And then I'd get double thumped on the ears, and I realized it's just part of my nature to see that aspect of humor in the world. And don't put Charlie and I at a silence meditation place and have to have a silent meal. It won't happen. It won't happen. When I start hearing people chew, it's all over. It's all over. If I hear somebody breathing too loud, it's all over in meditation. It's the oddest thing for me. So I share some of that God nature in me that does shine through, and I realize that it is healing. It is healing because it is helping me, because I'm very sensitive, not to just fall apart, but to pull myself back together. So I offer that to you as if that is something that happens to you in those awkward moments. I mean, it's even been in the jury box. Tell me when, that is really inappropriate. The judge stops and looks, and I said, apple doll, I said, he said, I think juror number 7 is indicating we need a break. And I'm thinking, oh, God. I slither out. So anyway, enough about me on that, and I hope you can relate to some of that. I was comforted by this, Longchenpa, a Tibetan scholar, said, since everything is but an apparition, perfect in being what it is, having nothing to do with good or bad, acceptance or rejection, one may well burst out in laughter. So he's my new teacher. Good job over here. And Ram Dass adds that humor shared is always this impeccable moment of compassion for ourselves. There's a perspective, a humor. These are our allies, compassion for ourselves, perspective, and humor. With their help, we can come to see, in the words of the Bhagavad Gita, that no step is lost on this path, and even a little progress is freedom from fear. So again, using these ideas of allowing ourselves to celebrate the hearts of who we are and do some self-healing, body, mind, and heart. That's why we study metaphysics. That's why we allow ourselves to go into such deep study to see what is this self all about. And so we can watch our self-talk, we can watch our thoughts, and we can actively seek to shift our thinking. No one else is going to ever be able to do that for us, but we can be advised and helped along the way. So what is missing? What if we were missing a key element in this healing process? What if we're forgetting that humor and joy is what is bringing a lightness that will facilitate a healing at a whole new level? Now, there's a lot of science that backs this up, and many of you have read the books of people that have been healed because they turn on the Three Stooges, which I don't think are that funny when you hit each other over the head and go, or whatever they do. But some people watch those things over and over and over again. Charlie and I were watching Ted Lasso, the greatest series. How many have seen it? Anybody? Oh my God, so dang funny. Oh yeah, I know. Whoop, whoop. We watched this little girl have bad breath. I mean, what's funny about bad breath? But this little girl, I mean, Charlie and I were actually holding our stomachs laughing so hard about this bad breath. So watch Ted Lasso and watch for that episode of bad breath. You'll laugh at yourself with it. How many of us have done that? Right? In fact, oh gosh, in the drumming the other day, I'd had all these garlic things that Lindy and I were shopping for, and they were little, oh, don't get them at Costco, they're so addictive. But they're so heavily garlic. And at the drum circle, we didn't have a mask on at first, and then the girl, as soon as I set them to her, she put her mask back on. I'm thinking, oh, my bad breath. So that's another good reason for having these masks still going on. If you shop at Costco and get those garlic rounds. Whew. Anyway, I digress. Where am I? So what is activating this joy? What is that? And we certainly know that this laughter can be healing. And so here in the Mayo Clinic, they stress that the laughter has a serious impact on our mood and state of mind, and it can cause or contribute, the stress can contribute to anxiety, irritability, depression, lack of motivation, and feelings of overwhelm. There is a profound impact from stress and distress on our body temple, and from fatigue and sleep issues to chest pain, headache, anxiety. Stress can cause us to feel very unwell and can impact our ability to connect with joy. And it is hard sometimes when you're feeling that. This in turn causes even more stress, and there becomes this endless loop. Now, there was a whole Laughter as Medicine compilation of jokes and stuff, and I read through them, and I was watching myself read through them, and I'm thinking, oh, I'm not even amused. You know how some jokes just fall really flat? I expect that up here, because I'm going to share some of these with you. But he was saying in his research, this Timothy Conway, and I don't think it's the same Tim Conway, because it doesn't say, but he's pretty funny. He could just do anything and I'll laugh. But he said that young children laugh 100 to 200 times a day compared to adults, 0 to several times a day. That's a bummer. Yet laughter is good not only for the body, but for the soul and the spirit. And an internet advises this wellness tip: go on and laugh. Whether your preference is to giggle, chuckle, guffaw. Speaking of guffaw, our sweet Reverend Sharon Kennedy, if you ever get her laughing, she does this inhale, snort thing, and it's unstoppable, the belly laughter that follows that. And that certainly was expressed when we passed our ministerial boards. So if she's listening, God bless you, and that beautiful laugh you have, Sharon. But it increases antibodies in our saliva, and that combats upper respiratory infections. It secretes an enzyme that protects the stomach from forming ulcers. Isn't this fascinating? that a laugh can do this? Conditions the abdominal muscles, oh, do tell, and relaxes muscles throughout the body. So, yeah, I need to do a little abdominal work. Well, that's what it is. Go laugh hard. But it can reduce symptoms of neuralgia and rheumatism, change your perspective, has a positive benefit on your mental function, reduces blood pressure and your heart rate, helps the body fight infection, releases those wonderful endorphins that provide natural pain relief and tightens your stomach again. Keeps mentioning that. Message taken. Helps move nutrients and oxygen to your body tissues. Just makes you feel good. So the further going in that, the embodying joy, the laughter solution, it is said that change your thinking, change your life methods are good for if you want to seek change at an energetic level to release harmful patterns. But how can we embody our shifts in thought and behavior even more deeply? Through joy. Through joy. To not take ourselves so seriously. Choosing to laugh daily and really get it to be that belly laughter literally changes everything. And laughing swaps the cortisol in our bloodstream with highly sought after chemicals in the brain, dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins. Dopamine in particular enhances learning, motivation, and attention. Funny name, DOPA. Seems like it would be doping you to be, you know. But it's actually enhancing things to make us feel more alive, more engaged with everything. And so whether it's laughter yoga, stand-up comedy, or a funny movie, or a chat with your friends, laughter is the medicine. And I was watching this week, just watching young people coming home from school and things like that, just laughing really hard. Do you remember those days? And I thought, I remember just, my girlfriend would say to me, say it again, Sue, whatever I was saying. And it was one, I think it was one stupid little card that said, "Pardon me, may I buy my introduction back?" She thought that was so funny. Say it again. Okay. You know, but things that aren't funny, but to a junior high age level, things are hysterical. Those of you that have young children, they come home with the silliest jokes. Knock, knock, who's there? Come on, Mom, play with me. Knock, knock, who's there? Oh. And it's just joy. And you can find yourself thinking, well, that was dumb and corny, but you're smiling, right? I'm looking at the two young mothers here. So there's a gentleman, David Rico. He wrote Wholeness and Holiness. His words help me see that there's a greater light inside of each of us when we allow this avenue of spiritual healing to come forth, when we allow ourselves just to abandon ourselves into the laughter. So he says this: joy and its expression, humor, are central to our sanctity. Saints see past ugliness and wickedness, since compassion informs their sense of humor. That's important to realize why it's such a mystical experience to be in front of a guru, a living guru, and to see their joy and their laughter in these moments. He goes on to say, saintly playfulness is cheerful optimism. Humor helps us adapt to fear, to be more at ease in anxiety-producing situations, see more than one opportunity in a dilemma. Humor is also the way of easing up on ourselves and others, offsets the tragic with the innovative. St. Augustine said that the world is indeed a smiling place. So, as meditators, sometimes we can get really serious. And we might as well stop struggling against our thoughts and realize that this honesty and this humor can be far more inspiring and helpful than allowing ourselves to stay so serious, so apple-faced on our cushions. So when I was a cardiac rehab nurse, one of the things we did every Friday, so I spent Wednesday just pouring through the internet, looking for cartoons that were funny. And then I would copy them. And so Friday, instead of getting an education piece, the patients received pamphlets of cartoons. And they were so eager. Where are the cartoons when they'd come in the morning? And they wouldn't wait for their cool down to go read them. They would be reading them on the news step or on the treadmill, wherever they can. And then they would gather together and say, which one did you think was the funniest? And it was so heart-opening to watch these people. But they all would be laughing in community together through these comics. And sometimes, like I said, sometimes they weren't very funny, but you know how it is when you get the Sunday paper? Yay, it's a Sunday paper, comics! Argue when you're a child with your sisters and brothers to who gets to have them first. And then you would clip out the funniest ones and kind of chuckle again throughout the week on these. And then you would toss them away. Nothing's funny today. Nothing's funny. Poor artists. So, but this book that we're using this week, Happy for No Reason, Marcy Shimoff, she has little cartoons, a few of them sprinkled through her book, and this one I thought was pretty funny because there was a jack-o'-lantern, you know, those with the faces, just laying on the therapy couch saying to the doctor, "You think I want to be unhappy? I'm carved this way." That works. I'm going to do that every week. Get you guys going. And then there was another one with the doctor talking to a laptop computer that is stretched out on the therapy couch, and he's telling him, the doctor's telling the laptop, "No, I don't think you're crazy. Like most of us, you're just a victim of bad programming." Oh, you guys are good. You guys are good. But you know, the Pope Francis has a really good sense of humor. I don't know if anybody has ever really followed some of his wit, but he says he says this first: "A sense of humor is a gift I ask for every day. It's a human attribute, but it's closest to God's grace." I love this Pope Francis that we have, and he says he's known for this, and he said There's the one about how he turned to his fellow cardinals after his elections and said impassively, "May God forgive you for what you have done." Oh, I know, that's a good one. So here's a few. We're going to close because this laughter is about God. It is, he says it in the reading. Things are funny, let's laugh at it. It's the song of the universe. So here we go. Here's one for me. The secret to a good sermon is to have a good beginning, a good ending, and to have the two as close together as possible. Good. Very good, very good. Let's see, let's see. The little girl asked her mother, "How did the human race appear?" The mother answered, "God made Adam and Eve, and they had children, and so all mankind was made." 2 days later, the girl asked her father the same question, and the mother answered, "Many years ago, there were monkeys. From the human race evolved." The confused girl returned to her mother and said, "Mom, how is it possible that you told me that the human race was created by God, and Dad said they were developed from monkeys?" Mother answered, "Well, dear, it's very simple. I told you about my side of the family. Your father told you about his." Oh, let's see, I cut one. There's one, there was a prayer request for hearing. After a service, a stranger approached the pastor, said, "I'd like you to pray for my hearing." Oh, the pastor placed his hands upon the man's ears and said a passionate, earnest prayer, following with, "How is your hearing now?" The pastor asked. Looking surprised, the man said, "Well, it's not until tomorrow." And I'm going to use this one. A pastor was in the middle of the sermon when he noticed a man or woman falling asleep. I've seen that in here. Ouch. "Wake up your husband," Pastor Riley snapped. The wife smiled and replied, "You put him to sleep, you wake him up." You guys did really good. Let's do just now, just put your hands on your belly and just let it be as happy as you can right now, okay? Whatever sound you want to make, Sharon's not here, that would really work, but just let it go. Ha 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 ha! Oh my God! Louder! Ha 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 ha! Oh, what's funny? I don't know. What's funny? I don't know. You guys are funny because you're doing this. Yeah. You know, you're funny even with the masks on. I can see you. I can see you all. So the Buddha finally, I'll close with this, and Judy will come up. I'm going to bring it back home, bring it back to your heart, but feel yourself right now. Now, being in play means I will be speaking as I did last week. This is a body sense. This is the temple. And the Buddha says when you realize how perfect everything is, you will tilt your head back and laugh at the sky. Now, we are waiting for that day. We're waiting for that day. So, as we take this moment in time, recognizing that we sit here in the beauty of this day, safe, our children safe, our elders safe. We're laughing, but we're not forgetting. We're not forgetting that the world is hurting. And we allow ourselves now to just move into that place of wholeness and balance. And as we start, as the Tao invites us to know, peace begins with me. We allow ourselves to usher in the grace as it was spoken. And from the Radiant Sutras, you whose existence melts me. Whenever you dissolve into helpless laughter, transported by a magic show, antics, or jokes, having your armpits tickled, drenched by a sudden shower, or any of nature's tricks, dive into the source of that laughter. Surrender to the surge of joy, illuminating the essence of reality. In this knowing of the oneness, this great, vast love brings us into that knowing of absolute perfection unfolding. And we allow ourselves in this safety zone that we recognize and appreciate with gratitude that we are the ones that hold the vision, that see clearly into peace itself, into the hearts of all humanity. And we offer our prayers for continued renewing of this beautiful planet that we live upon, we call Mother Earth, for the air and the water that we use to live and feel this sense of being, and for all of the anguish in the world. We reach out and we pull it in as a Tonglen practice. We pull it into our own heart space where the light is bright, where the light is powerful, where love is flowing. And we offer our prayers of healing, of understanding, of compassion, of forgiveness. We are the ones that can hold it all in the light, as Dalton's songs that at the beginning of this service reminded us of this pure light. That's who we are. So ambassadors of this light, we hold true to all of the aspects of emotion and humor, and we find ourselves in absolute alignment with the divine. We throw our heads back and we laugh wholeheartedly. And what rains upon us is the grace. Thank you, God, for a community that listens, that laughs, that serves, that is fully present with everything going on. We walk in such beautiful company. I am grateful. We are grateful. Together we say, and so it is. Thank you for listening and laughing.
This is one of my favorite songs. It's by a guy named Dan Byrne, and it's called Jerusalem. When I tell you that I love you, don't test my love. Accept my love, don't test my love. 'Cause maybe I don't love you all that much. Don't ask me what kind of music I'm gonna play tonight. Just stay a while, see for yourself a while. And if you must put me in a box, make sure it's a big box with lots of windows and a door to walk through and a nice high chimney so we can burn, burn, burn everything we don't like and watch the ashes fly up to heaven, maybe all the way to India. I'd like that. All the ancient kings came to my door. They said, do you want to be an ancient king too? I said, oh yes, very much, but I think my timing's wrong. They said time is relative, or did you misread Einstein? I said, do you really mean it? They said, what do you think we come here for? Our goddamn health or something? Everybody's waiting for the Messiah. Jews are waiting, Christians are waiting, also the Muslims. It's like everybody's waiting. I know how I hate to wait, like even for a bus or something, an important phone call. So I can just imagine how darn impatient everybody must be getting. So I think it's time now, time to reveal myself. I am the Messiah, I am the Messiah. Yes, I think you heard me right. I am the Messiah. I was gonna wait till next year, build up the suspense a little, make it a really big surprise, but I just could not resist. It's like when you got a really big secret and you're just bursting to tell someone. It was kind of like that with this. Now that I've told you, I feel this great weight lifted. Dr. Nussbaum was right. He's my therapist. He said, get it out in the open. I spent 10 whole days in Jerusalem, Jerusalem, sweet Jerusalem. And all I ate was olives, nothing but olives, mountains of olives. It was a good 10 days. I like olives. I like you too. So when I tell you that I love you, don't test my love. Accept my love. Don't test my love. 'Cause maybe I don't love you all that much. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dalton. What a perfect song. That's great. So I'd like to invite the ushers forward. And while we're getting ready for the offertory, I'm going to read an affirmation for us. As I prepare to give my offering to the center, I remember the overflowing power of divine life energy overcomes every obstacle and pours out into the world, blessing and prospering everyone and everything through me. I radiate blessings, I radiate creativity, I radiate prosperity, I radiate loving service. Through my vision, the world is blessed. I am grateful for the abundance that is on the way and for the abundance I currently have. I share my good with joy, and so it is.
I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. Come on forward, ushers. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed, I am so blessed, I am so grateful, I am so blessed.
We are so blessed. So if you can repeat after me this affirmation. This day I recognize God, and only God as my substance, my supply, and my support. And on behalf of the center, I welcome, I'll just say that. Hey, this side says what? I'm so sorry. So, quite simply, but deeply, on behalf of the center, we appreciate and accept these gifts, not only of your treasure, but also of your service and your seva, served with such heart and such compassion. And we know that what comes in flows right back to each and every one of us and out into our community. So giving great thanks and deep appreciation, I accept and know, and together we say, and so it is. So I wanted to remind you that when we invite the bell, we also light our candle, which is to bring into consciousness, the right and perfect minister. As many of you know, Reverend Dr. Mary retired, but as staff minister, and Reverend Sue is on her way to retirement. So when the right and perfect person shows up, we're going to welcome them with loving arms, and it'll be a blessed time. So I think we're going to have a closing song by Dalton, and then Sue and I will come up and say goodbye. And don't forget the art sale out there, and then Dr. Mary and I are available for prayer support, and Shirley, put you on the spot. and just have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Stand on up here, please. This is a call and response song that you'll all be familiar with. Oh, hang on, sorry. I think that's my fault. May I be happy. May I be peaceful. May I be free. May I be free. May my friends be happy. May my friends be peaceful. May my friends be free. May they be free. If anyone has hurt me, I now freely forgive. If I have hurt anybody, may they forgive me now. May they forgive me now. May my enemies be happy. May my enemies be peaceful. May my enemies be free. May they be free. If anyone has hurt me, I now freely forgive. If I have hurt anybody, may they forgive me now. I forgive myself right now. May all beings be happy. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be free. May they be free. May we all be free. May we all be free. May we all be, sing it with me, free.
Thank you, Dalton. That reminds me of Tambelou. That reminds me. I love it coming all these years. That's one thing about being here forever, is getting to hear the younger people bring that song back to our hearts. So thank you for that. Thank you. And thank you all you young people that are showing up here. It's starting to look pretty good out there. Yeah. So have fun shopping, and see you at 11:30 if you can stay. Have a blessed day and keep laughing. Find something funny. Check out Ted Lasso.